What I despise further about this Karmelo Anthony discourse is all the people, specifically the black people, who are in support for Karmelo Anthony. And it is not to say you can't be in support of somebody because we lack all of the crucial details. I know people are scrambling on social media, put a pin in that because we're going to deal with it in a moment, to try to just end the case right here and now. But the thing about going on social media and trying to solve a case is that you don't have all the critical information or the critical details or the critical thought to think to yourself, maybe what I'm looking at right now on social media might be just a little bit, just a tad bit BS, and I should proceed with caution, especially since I'm puffing my chest out and saying I care about this case specifically for the poor, disenfranchised African-American youth that is struggling in the legal system right now. And I want to see an outcome that benefits him and not anyone else. And that's cool. That is your given right to have that stance. But as I stated in the last video, if you are faking things, you do not help him. You hinder him. And I will further stroke my own ego and prove my point, because all of you online people that are fighting tooth and nail to come up with all these random stories and you're confirming it as if it's true, even though you got nothing to back that shit up, are embarrassing. How do I know that? This man right here is named Dominique Alexander, and he runs an organization, I believe, called NGAN. And what he's done over the past few days is talk with the Frisco police. You know, the police that are investigating this thing, the police that on 2 separate occasions had to come out publicly and say the information y'all pulling from Facebook is fake and that autopsy was fake. Well, he did what none of you people have the balls to do. He sought a meeting with the police to talk about a number of things. He wanted to talk about the racist accusation going around. He wanted to talk about the threats towards Karmelo's family and how their address got leaked, which is fucking insane. And if you're cheering that on or you're condoning that, fuck you. You're not creating a safe haven of discussion when you're bringing up and leaking people's addresses. Oh, that's not true at all. How do you know? Did Twitter tell you the greatest place to seek information? How about instead of trying to dismiss a real threat of people's lives being at stake, you just say, pump the brakes on that, because that's fucking weird. This man not only went to discuss that, but went to discuss all the bullshit going around. Because if you comb through social media, there's a lot of BS going around in this world that is helping nobody, specifically Karmelo Anthony. And in this video that is about 30 minutes long, which you could go watch because it's on the Dallas-Fort Worth Dallas News Fox Network YouTube channel, he dismisses all the fucking claims that have been made on Facebook and on TikTok.
Now, what I want to be able to do is ensure, and what we was able to hear today from the Frisco Police Department is reassuring that the Frisco Police Department is doing everything that it can to address the racism and the bigotry. We have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case, and it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all. As we know it right now, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation. We also know that both Austin Metcalf, the twin brothers, were on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We also know that Karmelo Anthony was on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We know they both arrived, all of them arrived to this facility via the transportation of Frisco ISD. The lies has to stop, y'all. As far as the legal strategy, I'm not talking about that today because that's not my place. I'm not the lawyer. I think you guys have all had a statement in regards that the lawyers have asked for a bond reduction, and they will release that in the way. We are solely here because where racism and bigotry and hate arises, the Next Generation Action Network will be there and will respond to that hate. We will not allow our communities to go under attack. We know that when people see a white and a black man in an unfortunate situation happen, that race always become a factor in that situation. And it's really because people don't want to really have a conversation about racial reconciliation in this country. in the current climate that we live in, where racism and bigotry is at the forefront, we don't really want to have these conversations. And social media has been a stomping ground for people to be able to launch any disparity that they want to. And so, our heart goes out to all who are involved. The Next Generation Action Network continues to restate that we are here to support this situation based on what we have seen. We want to continue to express Mr. Karmelo Anthony's grounds of where he has displayed self-defense. I think that in the next coming days, as you see the things going out in the courtroom, it will be displayed. But today's meeting was solely about the threats that have been going towards their home and ensuring that there is a fair and impartial investigation going on. And I want the public to know that our organization, along with attorneys, are doing everything they can to make sure that race is not a factor in this case.
Remember the lady who was proudly talking about the autopsy? She still has not corrected the record on that. And she's going around peddling random witnesses as if they're 100% fact.
Finally, y'all, a witness came out and made a statement in the Karmelo Anthony case, and I have to let y'all hear this because this is the piece I have been missing, that I have been waiting for the witnesses, for the students around the situation to see what happened, and this is what he had to say.
Trying to get back to their cars, or
this is the witness.
Get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up on the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah.
He's talking about Karmelo.
I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So, dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent.
He's talking about the twins.
Over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry.
Karmelo was on his phone.
They went from another. They grabbed this man.
Grabbed him.
They tried to punch on dude. Dude went in there, and whatever, they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened.
Mind you, this man does not know Karmelo.
That's one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother, basically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is
wasn't on school property.
Miles away.
It
was community track meet, bruh. It wasn't a school track meet.
Thank you.
Do I know if they're 100% fact? No. Would I broadcast them as if they were? Fuck no. Why? Because in an open investigation, I would think the worst place to talk about information is social media. Because when I'm seeing someone make a claim that they're a witness, you know what my thinking goes to? Why aren't you telling the police? Because the police, in response to this man right here, have said, hey, open door to anyone who was a witness. Come to us and tell us what you saw. Come to us and tell us in full detail what you saw, how it played out, because we will welcome you in to tell what you saw. But because it's a little bit more lucrative for dumb fucks to be on social media and be dumb fucks, they're going to do that instead because that's going to help Karmelo. And I'm noticing a lot of people fighting tooth and nail to prove him innocent without actually doing any fucking work to do so. I'm gonna give credit to this man. I don't give a fuck if anybody doesn't like Karmelo. I don't give a fuck if you want him buried under the jail. He's still going to go through the process of trying to prove his innocence. And there will be people like this man on the screen who will fight tooth and nail to help him out even just a little bit. And you can't say anything against it. You can't really do anything about it because that's how our legal system works. I believe it's called innocent until proven guilty. And even though it really don't look good for Karmelo that he admitted that it's not alleged and he did it, he's still gonna go and work through with that self-defense plea. And maybe he gets a plea deal. Maybe he goes to jail. Maybe he completely walks scot-free. Who knows? Not you, not me, not the random fucks on social media. Time will be the thing that tells, and the thing that irks me the most about all the people who claim to be for the people is that you're fucking embarrassing yourselves. It is biblically stupid how long people have peddled this random police report that I got from Twitter, even though there's no evidence to back that shit. It's weird how people are still picking and scrambling at random things to say this man is innocent. This teenager is innocent with no evidence to back it. And I'm repeating what I said in the last video. You don't care. You don't care. You don't care about the kid. You just want to see an outcome that favors you, and you're going to fight tooth and nail to make it happen. The problem is you are actively doing a disservice to the random kid you have propped up as your new face of your pretend race war. And it's fucking embarrassing. It is fucking failure-ish. It is loser activity by a bunch of losers who are desperate to try to make something stick. You are throwing so many things at the fucking wall, hoping that it sticks, thinking that you're fighting the good fight, when a man who is actually doing the work to try to get the truth out on all sides is not being propped up as much as he should. And I would like to say to this man, thank you, because you are trying, even if you don't get the outcome which you want, because let's be honest, he's presuming the innocence of Karmelo Anthony, and you know, he's got that right to do that. It's his free speech and all that shit. At least he's trying to get the full truth of the matter and not wasting his time with bullshit. And it's talking about how that bullshit is destructive to the conversation, destructive to the investigation. And if you look at this shit and you think I'm fucking pandering, or if you call me a coon, congratulations, you don't fucking care. And it's embarrassing how you try that fucking hard to say I don't care when I'm pointing out the bullshit lies that you motherfuckers have favored for the past, 3, 4, almost a fucking week number of days, because you're bored as fuck and this is something interesting enough for you to gain traction on your dog shit TikTok accounts or your fucking think piece where you sit up there and I say, whoa, I found all this new information and I'm gonna waste your fucking time with that shit because you ain't got shit going on. You're fucking pathetic, and it's embarrassing how y'all are trying that hard and you're failing that fucking bad. And I'm gonna end it like this. Thank this man. Because he's doing the work you pretend that you do. He's doing the work that you claim you're doing, but you're not. And you should forever be fucking embarrassed that instead of actually being somebody that people could turn to for information, you're a bunch of dumb fucks online desperate for your own narrative to be true, when all of it so far has been nothing but bullshit. Thanks. Bye-bye.